What's up, everyone? Welcome to Mike and Ant. We're looking forward to a great Sunday of football. This is going to be dropping first thing in the morning, right before the games. But we're going to give you our picks. We obviously walked away with a win on Thursday. We both had the Bills. I'm not sure if you went with the spread. I went with the spread, so I actually would have lost on the spread. Did you pick with the spread or just straight up?
No, actually, I picked with the spreads. I ended up losing.
Yeah, so we both would have lost by 2.5 points. Bills should have covered. I don't know exactly what was going on in that game. But we already broke that down. For anybody that wants to watch that, go to the channel, subscribe, thumbs up, comment. That's up there. We recapped the game. Now let's dive into the Sunday morning slate of games, bro.
All right, we'll start off with the NFC South battle. Atlanta at Carolina. Atlanta made news this week. They released Wong Koo Soo after they benched him last week, and the backup kicker went 5 for 5. So they decided to go with the backup. Sue is out. I'm not Sue, but Koo,
Yeah.
he's out. But Atlanta is 4.5 point favorites.
I guess I'll fire away. I got Atlanta winning the game for sure. Although I would love for them to lose, being a Rams fan, we want them to lose as many games as possible. Not that I have beef with Atlanta, I actually like the team, but I'm hate watching any chance I get this year. I
Yeah, for the
apologize.
draft pick.
Yep, for that draft pick. And not even because I want a quarterback. I just want a high draft pick for maybe a skilled player or potentially a quarterback. Now, when it comes to the spread, I'm going to go with Carolina. I think this game is going to be closer than people expect. I got Atlanta probably winning like a 2017 game, something around there. So I'll go Carolina with the spread, but I got Atlanta winning the game.
I got Atlanta winning the game and covering the spread. Based off of what we've seen the first 2 weeks from Carolina, I can see Atlanta winning this game by at least a touchdown. So I don't see them covering the 4.5.
Yeah. Hey,
And this is the game where Carolina just reverts back to how they ended the season. But right now, that team does not look good.
yeah, I just think where this is a division game 3 weeks in, I think they'll get it together. Not enough to win, but I think they'll get it together enough to keep the game close. But one of us,
I mean, it is their home opener.
yeah. Bottom line is we both got Atlanta winning. We're on the opposite sides of the coin when it comes to the spread, but we do both have Atlanta winning.
All right, the next game is Green Bay at Cleveland. Green Bay is 8.5 point favorites. I think I was surprised that Cleveland still sticking with Joe Flacco. I thought after benching Joe Flacco last week and putting in Gabriel, they would have started Gabriel this week, but they're gonna hold on to Flacco. But real quickly, I'll take. I think Green Bay's gonna win, and I see him covering the 8.5.
Okay, I'll match you there. I don't think there's much to say. I think Cleveland is a sinking ship. I think Flacco again will give a couple gifts away. Maybe another special teams problem or a fumble. I just see a few turnovers from Cleveland that pushes this game out of reach. I'm looking at like a similar game that they had against Baltimore last week, although maybe a little bit closer for scoring purposes. But this Green Bay is going to cover this spread and they're going to win the game easily.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's move on to the AFC South. We got Houston at Jacksonville. Jacksonville 1.5 point favorites. Houston is a must win. They can't afford to fall over 3 on the season. And Jacksonville, they're one game behind Indy for first place in that division. So they're trying to stay pace.
I, I'll say this, right? If it was, we did our division winning stuff like that, right?
Right.
If I was picking today, I think there's a clear win in that division, and I think it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think the Colts will keep this up. I don't believe in Daniel Jones. The Jaguars look good. Even in defeat, not much of a thing. I expect the Jaguars to win this, cover the spread, and I think Houston's going to be more bad than good this year after looking at them. Year one, Stroud came out hot. Year two, he declined. Year three, he looks like he's declining even more. But what's even worse is Nico Collins hasn't got it going. They don't have the running game they had with Joe Mixon. It just doesn't look good. I think the Colts may be better than them right now. So I think if I was repicking the division, I'd definitely put Jaguars at 1 because I think they can live throughout the test of the season and wither it out a little bit better than the Colts. And I think Houston's done. It might be an overreaction right now, and it could well be when we're looking at week 6 or 7. But looking at this team, they just don't look good, and it's not their defense. Their offense just is atrocious. So unless C.J. Stroud reverts back to what he looked like in his rookie year, this is like a 5-win team, if that.
Yeah, I agree with you, but at the same, well, no, I agree and disagree with you. When we did our talked about our divisional picks, we did say that to win this division, you only need like 9 or 10 wins.
Yeah.
This is a pretty weak division. So that's the only reason I disagree that they're done. Because even if they lose on Sunday, I still think this division is weak enough to where they can stay within distance. We gotta look at their schedule to see if they'll be winnable games. But I do agree with you, their offense is just terrible. I know Joe Mixon's hurt, but Nick Chubb was a pretty decent back in Cleveland. Right now, he looks washed. I don't know if it's him or
They,
it's because the O line is just so bad.
since
They can't run block. They can't pass protect.
since he came back from that injury in Cleveland, he just never looked the same.
Oh
So
yeah, when he tore like his ACL and his PCL or something like
yeah,
that.
so he didn't look good the last year in Cleveland. He looks a little bit better now than he did then, but he's not the same Nick Chubb. And I agree with you. I don't mean that if they go 0-3 that it's over for them. But what I mean is watching what I'm looking at,
Mhm.
I don't think that they're bouncing back, is what I'm saying. Is I expect them to lose a lot of games. And this don't look like a team that put it like this. From watching the Saints the first 2 weeks in football and watching the Texans the first 2 weeks in football, it wouldn't surprise me that the Saints could beat them right now. The Saints look like, as a team, they might have it together a little bit more. Like I don't know what's going on with Stroud exactly, but and obviously I'm not putting him on the level of Rattler. But what I'm saying is right now, it looks like Rattler is less rattled than C.J. Stroud during these games. C.J.
Yeah.
Stroud doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look like he's playing for his job. He doesn't look like he has any pressure on him. He just looks too relaxed.
It also looks like he's lost his confidence. He looks like he's playing with confidence.
There you go. That was what I was leading to. So when you look at him, like Rattler's out there playing for his life, like trying to take risks, trying to win because
Yeah, because I'll say this for Rattler, he has nothing to lose because everybody knows that he's probably not going to be back next year. They're going to draft a quarterback.
yeah, facts. But Stroud just doesn't look like he's all into it this year. Maybe he needs to take that basketball off the football field and focus a little bit more on football during his pregame workouts. I don't know what it is, man, but there's something isn't right there, and they need to fix it because he goes through a whole nother year like this. You're gonna be talking about he might not be guaranteed another starting big contract, so he needs to really get it together soon.
Well, it's easy for them to get out of it. I think he's still on his rookie deal.
That's what I mean. So what I mean is, if he has another year like last year, are you paying this guy $200 million?
Now, once his rookie deal's out done, I'll just let him walk.
So yeah. So what I mean is, he plays this year bad. If it goes into next year, say he plays another bad year, do you even pick up his 5th-year option? Now I would say most likely they do, but it still would be a decision if you're going off of 1 good year and 3 bad years. You see what I'm saying? So
Right. Especially when that one good year was his rookie year. He's kind of digressed since then.
yeah, yep. And that's why I said I think the Jaguars win this game definitively. I believe they win it. They're in the lead from beginning to end. I don't think they blow them out by 30s and 40s of points, but I think the Jaguars have no trouble getting a hold of this game and coasting to the finish.
Yeah, I agree. I'm taking Jacksonville to win this game. I am surprised that Jacksonville's only a 1.5 favorite. I thought that point spread at least been 3 or 4.
Yeah. That right there almost made me pick Texans. Like, what do they know that I don't know? But
Yeah.
I can't be that guy to go with some weird superstition. So the Jaguars are just a better team right now. and ETN is playing out his mind. Brian Thomas Jr. has played like shit, and they've still looked pretty good. So I believe he'll pick it up. And Hunter needs to be better. Like
Yeah, yeah, he does. Even though I was surprised that last game they had him covering Jamar Chase a few times.
yeah, I don't even care about his cornerback stuff. And that penalty he got at the end was a penalty. I know a lot of people complained about it, and it's kind of just a simple thing. They allow hand fighting down the field, which they don't supposed to, but it happens in every game, right? So what's going to get you flagged is your arm extending and a player being moved, meaning if a player turns while your arm's extending or you pull and that they see their body turn, you have to move the receiver for it to be a penalty. Now, running down the sideline, they're hand fighting, that's all good. He puts his hand on the left shoulder, he extends the arm. The receiver may have been turning to catch the ball, it's a possibility, but as a referee, you're seeing arm extension, wide receiver turn sideways. It's going to be a penalty every time. So in that play right there, he's so athletic, he's so fast, he's so gifted. He could have literally jumped for the ball and picked it off had he not been fighting, battling with his hands. You was in perfect position to just jump and make a play on the ball. And I wish some of these young cornerbacks would focus on that a bit more. He's already skinny. And don't get me wrong, I'm a skinny person, so I don't mean like he's not gonna be good because of that. But you ham fighting with big dudes down the field, you're not gonna win most of those. You gotta unless you gain weight, but you're gonna win with your ability to jump, run, play the ball. That's where you excel at, and he's great at that. So I think as a cornerback, he'll understand it. I'm more disappointed in him as a wide receiver. He's only getting 4 or 5 yard passes. I've only seen him catch slants. He still hasn't fixed his feet work. I don't know if he's having trouble getting off the line with the hand fighting. That could have to do with maybe he needs to gain a little bit of weight. But I need to see him down the field making plays, and I believe he'll pick it up. I think he cut his hair recently. Did you see that?
Yeah, before the first game of the season.
Yeah.
But part of me feels like the reason why they don't use him, the running up, the reason why they don't use him up the field, and only have him running like slant routes or everything short, intermediate, because they probably want to save his energy for when he's to play defense.
Yeah. What I was gonna say about the haircutting is I seen people saying that he's locked in or whatever the case would be. I don't think that matters. That's just a change in style. Like him with long hair, him with short hair.
Yeah.
It's not gonna change anything. Either you're locked in or you're not. And I do
Or
believe
it just could be like, he got married recently. Maybe he feels like I'm not a kid no more, I'm not in
yeah,
college.
yeah.
It's time to grow up, cut my
Hurts
hair.
did it. Hurts did it, and I seen him mature overnight. And we'll talk
Yeah.
about the game later. But as far as him as a person, I mean, brilliant kid. Seen him mature overnight, cut his hair. Sometimes that is like a symbolism of a change. So I could see that, but I just need to see more from him at wide receiver. He just doesn't. I I mean, personally, if you wanted to take a wide receiver that high, I would have went with Tet anyways. I would have took McMillan. I think he was the best wide receiver in the draft. I think he was the most pro ready. I think he gets it more. It reminds me a little bit of Mike Evans, and I think he'll be good for the next 10 years, guaranteed, if he stays healthy. Hunter just seems like he's way more raw and has a lot more figuring out to do.
Yeah, see, that's why I felt like he needed to pick a position and just be dominant at that one position. I think Jacksonville, they just drafted him for the sake of he's a unicorn and we're going to try to do something that's never been done before in the NFL, which is have a player play both offense and defense.
I get it. I mean, there's ones that dabbled, but he's trying to get to a point where he's full fledged. And I think that there is a little correlation with the Jacksonville Jaguars and AEW wanting stars, and I think he probably was the biggest star in the draft, and that might have been what sold them on that. But I don't know if he was the best pick at that position. Like sometimes you have the I mean, look how good, not to even deep dive on other things, but look how good Josh Gordon was. Just couldn't get everything else under control. So
Yeah.
sometimes, I mean, he's probably, and I got no problem, he's probably the best from a skill set. He might be the best wide receiver I've ever seen. Talk about over everybody.
Oh yeah, I'll say no. He's a very underrated player. I will say though, I think he was ahead of his time. Well, not ahead of his time, but I think he was born in the wrong generation because the NFL doesn't even test for weed anymore because it's basically legal.
Yeah,
Back then they were testing for it, and that's why he kept getting suspended.
yeah. But I'm just saying he might have been the most special wide receiver I ever seen. Like from, he had like what Calvin Johnson had, but he also got like a little Antonio Brown in him. He
Oh
also
no, I mean, yeah, I agree. Like he's one of the best receivers I've ever seen. And my point was, if he was born in this generation,
yeah,
he could have been so much dominant. His numbers would have been better because he wouldn't be getting suspended like he did back in the day.
for sure, for sure. But the reason why I brought him up is just to say like, and I'm not obviously Hunter. I don't think is smoking weed. He doesn't look like he probably has a bad bone in his body, right?
Nah,
So it's not that. But what I
according
mean,
to Dion, he's never even drank before.
yeah. So I don't mean on that side of it. So that's not a comparison as far as off the field. But what I mean is sometimes the most special dude on the field doesn't actually become the most special dude on the field. You see what I'm saying? Meaning
Yeah,
we see you got everything, but there's probably like 5 to 10 rookies. Abuka look better than him right now, right?
yeah, he was drafted in the late first round, like
So
20 something.
yeah, I mean McMillan looked better than him. So and I think people knew that though. But the point is, there's probably 5 other guys that right now look better than him. And it's because he has all the potential, but he don't got the route running. He don't got the feet work. He don't got the battling off the line. He don't got the as fast as he is. He don't got a quick step off the line. It's just not there. You know what I'm saying? These other guys is doing a lot more than him with less, and sometimes they just get it more. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
Jaguars might have reached with him, but I hope it does work out. At least one of the positions, maybe after a year or two, they realize it's better to focus on one. Because I am rooting for the kid, but I still believe the Jags win this game. Hopefully, he has a breakout game.
yeah, we'll see. And I agree, Jacksonville will win. Moving on, we have the battle of the backup quarterbacks as Cincinnati takes on Minnesota. Cincinnati will be at Minnesota.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow is going to be out for 3 months with the turf toe. He just had surgery. And then J.J. McCarthy is going to be out for a few weeks with his high ankle sprain. So Carson Wentz will start. Minnesota's 3-point favorites in this game. What are your thoughts?
I don't like the spread, so my thing on the spread would be avoid it. You know how I feel about 3-point spreads. I really hate them,
Yeah,
especially in games like this. But I guess that what I'm leaning towards is Browning a couple years ago looked decent. Browning last week did get a lot of points in, did get the comeback win, but he also gave away, I think, 3 interceptions. I don't think they stay in the game, him passing balls to the Vikings defense, just for the simple fact that Carson Wentz is, I mean, got to be one of the top 3 best backups in the NFL. And right now, he's probably better than JJ McCarthy right now. So this could be a hard game for me to pick the Bengals. I'm gonna pick the Vikings to win. As far as spread, if you're forcing me to pick it, I'm still gonna go with the Vikings. Think possibly they can beat that spread, but this might be one of those tie games where the Vikings win by 3 points and everybody loses. So I do want to put that in the universe to say avoid this if you can. But I'm gonna go with Vikings to win the game, and if I have to, Vikings to cover the spread.
yeah, this is a game I'll stay away from too because it's a game that I feel like it could go either way. I think Cincinnati could win, but I'm with you. I'm going to take the Vikings. But it wouldn't surprise me if Cincinnati won this game.
Yeah.
I still think they have the talent to win this game. But Jake Browning, he just can't turn the ball over. Like he played great and he played bad at the same time.
Yeah.
Like his numbers are great, but then he also threw 3 interceptions. You can't do that in this game because Minnesota's better than Jacksonville, I think,
Yeah.
and they'll take advantage of that. And like you said, at this point, even though Carson Wentz is the backup, he's probably better than JJ McCarthy, and so
Yeah.
that offense might run better too. So, but at the same time, Carson Wentz also is capable of throwing, 3 or 4 interceptions a game too,
Yeah, he
and
is.
keep him in the game.
Or getting hurt if he runs.
Well, yeah, I don't know who their QB3 is.
Good luck. They get to that point.
So yeah,
JJ
I
will
think it'll be a
probably
close
miraculously
game.
healed.
What you say?
JJ will probably be miraculously healed.
Oh yeah, but they already said he's out, so I don't know if he can dress up.
I know, but
But
what I
he'll
mean
be
is
back
they're gonna
next
have
week.
to deal with whoever they have that can come out the locker room that they have
Yeah,
to play. And next week JJ will be like, "Yeah, I'm healed up. I'm good. It was never really
yeah.
an injury
It
anyway."
wasn't a high ankle sprain, it was a lower ankle sprain. I'm good now. Only need one game.
It actually was a benching. We just said that, but now that we got caught, we might as well just throw it out there. But um, so you got what are you doing if you got to take a spread here?
If I gotta take a spread, I'll take Cincinnati +3, only because it wouldn't surprise me if they pulled off the upset, or
Nice.
at least keep it close.
Yeah, it's not bad. I agree. So we both got the Vikings winning and we're on opposite sides when it comes to spreads.
All right, next we got Pittsburgh at New England. Pittsburgh is a 1.5 favorite.
All right. Well, this was probably one of my hottest games to pick this week because Patriots looked pretty good last week. I know that both of these defenses will let up points. I guess my over and the Steelers can't run the ball for shit, although Warren has looked decent as far as catching the ball, but um this what gave me this pick is this. The Patriots let I think the Dolphins drop 30 plus on them. With Tua, they don't really have a run game. Their wide receivers are okay. Aaron Rodgers and DK have a game here. If they want to play shootout ball, I don't believe they could win a shootout with the Steelers when I think the Steelers have a better defense than them. I think their quarterback may be more equipped for a shootout as well. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers to win this game.
I'm taking New England. I think it's gonna be a close game, but something just tells me New England's gonna pull this one out.
And what's the spread?
Pittsburgh 1.5.
I got them covering.
Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah,
I guess
but
you don't got them covering. You got the Patriots. So basically, complete
yeah,
difference.
yes.
And
That'd be gonna go +1.5.
yeah, and now we're on to my best bet of the week that I know everybody
Yeah,
believes is
we
biased.
got the LA Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles, a rematch of last year's playoff game in the divisional round. In both games last year, both regular season and playoffs, the Rams just could not stop Saquon Barkley, just ran all over them. And the playoff game was a lot closer. I felt like we should have won that game, but we fell short. So who you got? Rams. Oh, my bad. The point spread is Philly is 3.5 point favorites at home. So who do you have in this game?
Best bet of the week. I got Rams not even covering this. I forget about the spread. I got Rams winning the game, and I'm gonna give my reasons why. Barkley isn't running for 200 and 250-yard touchdowns because our linebacking core is a lot better, and Puna Ford is way better in the middle of the field than our brethren that we let leave last year. So I don't got Barkley going crazy. I think Landman's gonna be all over this man. So I think Barkley's not stoppable, but you're not getting 250-yard runs for touchdowns. You're not going for 200. You're not getting close to it, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is, other than one game, well, 2 games. In like the past 15 games, the Rams have held most teams under 10 points outside of the Eagles in the playoffs. And last week, which I don't think they really cared about that last little garbage touchdown, I think it was a big deal for them. So he's not going to be able to throw the ball on the Rams. I genuinely don't care which cornerbacks we start with. Forbes has looked all right. Darius Williams will probably be back in there. Durant looked good anyways. Our safeties are solid, so we don't got to worry about anything there. The tush push, expect heavy penalties. Neutral zone infractions, false starts. Expect the refs to be up right next to the line every time they want to line this up. And the minute they do something wrong, it's getting flagged. I almost can guarantee it. So they won't be getting away with that. And for anybody that thinks that I'm wrong about them not being able to throw the ball, they could just go look at A.J. Brown's latest interview when they asked him about him having great games against Forbes when Forbes was in Washington. And what he said is, I'm going to give science 101 for dummies. When he said Forbes is the least of my concerns, we have to figure out how to get this offense going. Who is his concern?
His quarterback.
All right, yeah. So their quarterback is barely a quarterback. And he'll flip out and cry and say we won after he runs 15 carries, throws 10 times, doesn't get any of his receivers the ball, but they won because you got away with multiple penalties. Cool. All right. Yeah, fine. But 90% of the media agreed with Chris Jones. Jalen Hurts has done absolute nothing on this team. Not this year anyways. You've done absolutely nothing. And for the rankings, I remember everybody was batshit. If Jared Goff was on the Eagles, they'd probably average 55 points right now. Just to put this in retrospect. Like, Jalen Hurts is barely a quarterback. Now, off of that, 31-21. Rams win this game by over a touchdown. They get their revenge. The Eagles leave whining about getting called for penalties that they've been getting away with for the past 25 games. This game's going to get ugly early. Stafford's going to throw for 300 plus. I'm expecting 2 more 100-yard games from their wide receivers. They do not have cornerbacks that can cover over there. Well, they got one decent guy and one other guy, Adoree Jackson, who is, I think he's ranked 100 out of 108 cornerbacks. Who are you covering? Absolutely nobody, because you can't. So the Rams will run away with this game. The Eagles will complain. Eagles fans will go batshit because they got called for all these penalties that they should have been getting called for the past 2 years. And this is an easy money bet. Philadelphia is going to be very mad at the end of this game. We have the better team. We have the better offensive weapons as a collective. We have right now the better defense. We have the better defensive line, which is their strong suit, and that's not even as good as us. Quarterback is a landslide, and the coach is laughable when you compare these two guys. So the Rams come into Philly, they get their revenge, and they step on the Eagles. If anybody wants easy money, clip this. Remember I said it. Forget the spread. Rams win the game.
All right. Well, I'm taking the Rams too to win this game. I think it'll be a lot closer to what you're saying, but I think the Rams win.
I'll tell you why I don't think it's closer. Because I think a couple of those fourth down conversions they need to get a touchdown end up in false starts that end up in field goals. I think a couple of those around the 50-yard line, fourth downs that they usually get, they get false starts in their punts. The Rams will run away with this game because those third and shorts are not going to be third and short no more because they're going to get false start penalties to the point where they stop doing it. And once they have to start throwing it, remember this, Hurts gives us one, at least.
All right.
That's minimum. And I'm talking about this probably go to the house. I think he'll give a bad one up. On one of those out routes, I think he'll throw a pick six.
That's if he even throws it.
No, I think that this game will get out of control when they can't do tush pushes and they're going to have to start throwing. And one of those out routes, he's going to throw an out route, and one of the Rams cornerbacks is going to take it up the sideline for a touchdown. Remember I said that.
All right, we'll move on. We have the next game, the New York Jets at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tyrod Taylor starting this game. Justin Fields is out with the concussion, and Tampa Bay is 6.5-point favorites, and they're at home.
This is an easy game. Bucks covering. It's a blowout alert, and it's
Yeah,
not
oh, go
anything
ahead.
Tyrod. It's just I see blowout alert on this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is gonna be blowout alert. The surprising thing for me is the Jets defense has not been good this year. And that's surprising to me because they have a defensive head coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is blowout city. I can see Tampa Bay winning by at least 10 points and covering the 6.5.
Yeah, I think this is a good game. If you want to bet on anytime touchdown scorers, I think you could probably even juice it because I would say starting running back scores. I think Mike Evans scores this week. I'm not sure if Abuka is playing, so I'll double check that after. I know he's a little dinged up. I believe Roddy White will probably get in the end zone if this game gets out of hand. So he'd probably, excuse me, Roddy White. The backup running back. Why? Well, I don't know why Roddy White names came into my head, but their backup running back that scored last week, I believe, will score this week. So that's probably the best juice bet if you wanna bet something there. But I think their whole team's good for any time touchdown score if you want to put the bets in. Just
Yeah,
the
plus they'll be wearing the throwbacks with the orange and or creamsicle, whatever they call it. So ugly ass uniforms.
yeah. I mean, for some reason, people love them though. So
Yeah, it's probably nostalgia. That's why.
yeah, I mean, I guess the newer version of the throwbacks looks better than the actual ones they used to wear back in the days. The ones back in the days was actually a lot worse.
Oh yeah, when they actually wore the orange. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the back of the days. It was like, and it's Rashad White I was talking about just to clarify that. So I believe Bucky scores. I believe the game, even if it don't get out of hand, Rashad White probably a score. But if it gets out of hand, he definitely gets in the end zone.
Oh yeah, and I forgot too when I was talking about the Rams and the Eagles. I just want to correct myself. In the last video, I called him Karen Williams. I meant to say Kyron Williams. So I just want to make that correction. And that was like a week late, but
It's
still.
all right. One of the videos, I announced one of the teams wrong. I noticed like a week later, I said the Rams. I must just been thinking about the Rams.
All right, and then the next game is your favorite owner with the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans. Colts are 5-point favorites in this game. It's their first road game of the season.
I want to pick the Titans so bad, but I'm gonna go with the Colts to win here. But I do got the Titans. I don't got the Colts covering the spread. I think this will be another one of those games where it will be a fight. It's a divisional game. I think Titans actually have a chance, probably a better chance to win this game than people may think. They played the Rams tough for 2 quarters. So I think they could stay close in this game. I think they have a chance to pull the upset, but I think they'll at least keep it closer than 5 points. So I got the Titans by the spread, but I'll take the Colts to win the game.
Yeah, I mean Tennessee, the first two games they kept it close, but then it'll be a bad turnover either by Cam Ward or somebody on that team, and then once that turnover happens, then like all hell breaks loose and they end up getting blown out the rest of the game.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
I think it will be a close game. It is a divisional game, so it is a team that they know. And then for the Colts, they have the talent to they have enough talent that I think they'll be pretty good this year. The question for them is just been quarter can Daniel Jones or Indiana Jones they're calling him now. Can he keep up this pace that he's been on these first two games? That is to be seen, but I think for this game, Indy will pull it out, and it'll be interesting with them being on the road for the first time. Will they allow the owner to be on the sidelines on with the headset on?
She'll be there.
Well, we'll see what type of game plan she came up with.
I feel like even if they told her don't go down there, she'd still go down there. This is gonna steamroll into a problem. We'll be hearing about it soon. So all the people that think that we're wrong for saying that she doesn't need to be on the sideline and will not be on the sideline, but doesn't need to have a headset and playbook and be looking through things that really just isn't things she needs to be doing. For all the people that think we're wrong, please talk to me when this train hits the wall because it's coming.
So it matter of time.
Yeah.
All right, and the next game for the 1 o'clock window, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are another team playing a backup quarterback as Jalen Daniels is out with a knee injury. Right now, he's out indefinitely. They haven't put a timetable when he'll come back. So Marcus Mariota gets to start. The Commanders are 3-point favorites. What are your thoughts on this game?
I went back and forth with this game, but I guess my overall assessment is I'm not really down on Marcus Mariota. I think he had the circumstance of playing for the Titans at the beginning of his career. I think he could do. Doesn't have the arm Daniels got, but I think he could do a lot of the same stuff. I think they implement the pistol heavy with him. I think Debo gets a lot of short yardage stuff, meaning short passes, dump offs, handoffs, along with Krosky Merritt, who I think is going to be a stud. I don't know how much they air it out this game, but after watching Geno Smith try to throw it to the Chargers on every pass last week, I gotta take a guess that he throws Washington a couple. So I'm gonna go with the Commanders. I just didn't. What I seen from the Raiders week 1 and week 2 was night and day. Week 1 looked like they could be something. Week 2 looked like maybe they could be the worst team in the NFL. So I'm going with Washington here. I don't think Mariota's that bad.
Yeah, actually, it's funny too because we talked about Marcus Mariota when we were talking about we were breaking down the AFC divisions.
Yeah.
And we were saying that how Mariota was probably another player that got drafted in the wrong generation. I mean, born in the wrong generation. Because had he been born, in this generation, coming out of college now, instead of when he did, a lot of the stuff that he was successful in college, which won him the Heisman Trophy,
Yeah.
they're now doing that in the NFL. Back when he was drafted, they were trying to force you to be a pocket passer.
Yeah, he needed a Lamar system. He needed a Lamar Jackson system.
Right. Now they let quarterbacks run the read option and RPOs and all that stuff. So he'll get to do that because we've seen this offense under Jalen Daniels. That's what he does. So to me, this would be Mariota right in this element.
Yeah.
And then for the Raiders, you see why for the first 10 years of his career, Geno Smith was considered a bust.
Yeah.
And he played because that's how he played on Monday night. Like you said, he was throwing the ball to the Chargers.
Bro,
I don't know if he's colorblind or what, but he couldn't. He was throwing it to they're he's on the Chargers.
Well, there was only one other quarterback. Well, there's other ones I would have to dig that threw 4 or 5 picks in the game. But even the ones that threw 5 picks in the game didn't actually throw it to the defense as many times as Geno did last week. They just got picked off 5 times. He threw 25 passes to the Chargers and they just wasn't catching them. But he hit some of them in the chest.
Yeah, they only intercepted 3.
Yeah,
it could have been more.
Could have been 13. That's all I'm saying. He could have broke a record. Forget what Jameis threw in a year. Geno was about to get half that in one game. All they had to do was catch the passes. So I think Commanders win this game fairly easy. What is the spread?
Commanders are 3-point favorites.
Yeah, I'll take Commanders. I'll take the spread.
Yeah, I think Commanders will win this game too for all the reasons you said. And speaking of Jameis, that's probably one of the craziest stat lines you'll ever see in NFL history. Because you look at his yardage, he threw for almost 5,000 yards. He had 33 touchdowns.
30 picks.
But
31.
But he set an NFL record with 30 interceptions.
Yeah. Hey, he's giving somebody a touchdown. Yeah, he was giving somebody either his team or your team. No,
it don't matter. If you include all the pick sixes he threw, he probably had 7,000 yards that season.
Yo, bro, they need to give him those yards. He deserves it.
I just can't get over 30 interceptions in a season. I think that's a record that might never get broken.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's there's nobody that's gonna make it enough games to throw 30 because once they get to 25, they'll probably get benched.
Yeah. All right, the next game, this is in the 4 o'clock Eastern window.
Yeah.
We have Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers, another divisional game. The Broncos, they lost a controversial game last week that they
Yeah,
should have won last week.
they got a
They
game.
got caught on a technicality.
They literally got a game taken out from under
Yeah.
on some bullshit.
And now they're playing a team that a lot of commentators are saying might be the best team in the AFC, the Los Angeles Chargers, who happen to be in their division. The Chargers are at home, even though it's probably going to be a Broncos home game because there's going to be a lot of Bronco fans there, not Charger fans. But the Chargers are 3-point favorites in this game.
Well, I'm gonna just get this out here right now. I know a lot of people would say Eagles right now because they're 2-0. They won the Super Bowl. Their defense hasn't been impressive. Their offense damn sure hasn't been impressive. Chargers have looked these first 2 weeks like the best team in football. Forget AFC. I'm talking about football. Their quarterback through 2 weeks has looked like the best quarterback in football. Above Josh Allen, above Lamar, above Mahomes. Josh Allen and Mahomes really haven't even played good. Allen has one game that looks like Jalen Hurts, so he's not really doing much over there neither. They look like
Well, Allen on that game, I'll give Allen the pass only because they basically just ran the ball down the Jets' throat. Just couldn't stop their running game. So
yeah,
why throw it?
yeah, I know, but then that gives excuses to say, well, that's why they do it with Jalen Hurts because they don't need to.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like Allen, you paid the big bucks to win the game. I don't want to see you hand off the ball 50 times. I just don't. That's not exciting football to me. But with that being said, I got the Chargers winning by. I got them winning and covering the spread. Denver, although I do believe they will be fight. I still think there's 3 teams that leave this division in the playoffs. I think I had the order wrong. I believe you probably had the order right. Chiefs might even be the 3rd team. Denver could be second. That's for debate. But I do believe Chargers definitely win this division. I don't think this is the year that they're going to collapse like people think. I think this is going to be a big year for them. It's year 2 of Harbaugh, and that's the big story I don't think too many people are talking about. This isn't going away. This is who they are right now. So they're going to be a tough out for anybody, and Denver just don't look like they could play with them right now. Ingram's not playing this week. I know that for sure. Nix hasn't. Looked like he's in the 2nd-year slump. I'm not big on one receiver they got in the building, not Franklin, not Sutton. RJ Javi hasn't showed me anything to make me think that. He did have a 50-yard run week 1. Maybe it's the touches, but he's not doing much. Their defense, this is the big part. Their defense is supposed to be a top 5 defense. The Chargers look better than them on defense. So I don't know how much of that top 5 defense is to be bought into. I know they brought in Mufunga. They brought in the Greenlaw, and their defense was already good. But it seems to me that they declined. I don't even know anything the Chargers brought in, but their defense looks like they're a lot better. So I think this is a mismatch on both sides of the ball. I think Justin Herbert lights them up, 3+ touchdowns. It could be a rout. But I think Denver got a little bit of fight in them, but I don't think the Chargers have any problem covering.
Nah, I'm picking the Chargers for one reason only, and that's because of the Denver Broncos defense. The Denver Broncos had the #1 defense in the NFL last year, but last week it didn't look like it. Daniel Jones picked them apart last week, so I'm looking at it like if Daniel Jones could pick them apart, just imagine what Justin Herbert's going to do.
Yeah.
The only thing that concerns me about go ahead, my bad.
No, I was gonna say Herbert also has better receivers. So
yeah,
good luck.
right. And then the only concern I have for the Chargers though is that Khalil Mack is hurt.
Yeah.
So there's supposed to be a best pass rusher that could hurt them in the long run. But I think Bo Nix is, like you see, he's having a 2nd-year slump.
Yeah.
I don't think Bo Nix will take advantage of that.
Quick thing, right? Did Khalil Mack break his hand? That's what it looked like. Do you have any update?
From what I heard, it was a dislocated elbow.
Oh. It
Not
might be
a
actually a little bit better. It might be better than a broken hand.
yeah. 'Cause I mean, normally they just pop it back in place. They say he doesn't need surgery, so that's the good news, and they expect him back. Well, let me open up here.
He's gonna need a cast. He needs something because you probably could put a cast on your arm and still play.
Yeah. So yeah, they did not no, Jim Harbaugh put him on injury reserve. So they put him on the IR, so he has to miss at least 4 games.
All right, so yeah, he'll be back in 4 games. We're being 2-0. I feel like that's a precaution because you need him later in the season. I think Harbaugh knows what he has here. Even if you lose 2 of these games, Khalil Mack's out the next 4. Khalil Mack's way more. He's made way more important to them later in the season than he is right now.
Yeah, and I think their defense is still good enough, I think, to play well without him. But I don't know how much of a pass rush they'll have without him.
It
You
also
still
might
got to be able to get the quarterback.
there could also be a potential trade. Maybe they trade for someone to like fill the space while he's gone, and maybe pick up an aging veteran. There is a couple defensive ends out there or outside linebackers, depending on which they go. I'm not sure if they're running a 3-4 or a 4-3. I'd have to go look at that. I ain't dive into them like that. But long story short, I think they could figure it out. They could fill someone in for 4 weeks.
Yeah. So we both agree Chargers win tomorrow. Next game we have the New Orleans Saints at the Seattle Seahawks. The Saints are 0-2, but I think they played better than what most people expected those first 2 games. Seattle got the huge win last week against Pittsburgh, and they are 7-point favorites in this game.
Well, I have a funny feeling when I was looking through teams. I circled this as upset alert. The Saints are playing tough, man. I don't know. I just have a funny feeling about this game, but I went with Seattle to win the game, so I'm not gonna change that. But I do have a funny feeling about this. With that being said, no way I got the Seahawks covering this spread. So I'm gonna go Seahawks to win the game. The better in me says put the money on the Saints to cover the spread.
And that's what we and I are aligned. I got the Seahawks winning this game, but I think this game will be a lot closer than what Vegas thinks it's going to be. And I think New Orleans covers the 7 points.
Is that your cat or mine?
That's yours.
What the hell is it? I don't
I
even
think he got. I think he got the Saints covering too.
I don't know where the fuck it is, but go ahead. It must be in the corner or something.
He just said he agrees. No Saints gonna cover.
Oh,
So
damn.
yeah, we both got the same. We both got the Seahawks winning, Saints covering.
Yeah.
The next game, and this is the game that John some controversy. It has Antonio, what's his name? Antonio Pierce snitching out here snitching. Well, you got the Dallas Cowboys at the Chicago Bears. It's the game Tom Brady's calling this week. Both the Cowboys and the Bears play the Raiders later on this year.
Yeah.
So the controversy is should Brady even be calling this game because he can give inside information on both the Cowboys and the Bears to the Raiders. And then you had Antonio Pierce come out this week saying that when he was the coach last year, Tom Brady was giving him insider information. But Antonio Pierce obviously didn't do anything with it because the Raiders were terrible last year.
Oh, Brady was raised next to Belichick. We know that the Patriot way.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to make it the Raider way.
Hey,
And
well,
Al Davis is famous for saying, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
and
So
how
Al
about this?
Davis can be happy.
How about this? Where are the Patriots located? Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Where's Al Davis born?
Massachusetts.
I'm just saying. So it is what it is, man. I'm just saying.
Well, if the Raiders beat both the Cowboys and the Bears, you know why. But back to the game, Dallas has a 1.5 favorite.
Yeah.
I can't talk about that. They're a 1.5 favorite to win this game. Are the Cowboys, and for the Bears, I'll say this: I think Ben Johnson is making a mistake. Caleb Williams to play more like Jared Goff, but that's not his game. Caleb Williams' game is not the same as Jared Goff. So I think he needs to, instead of trying to fit Caleb Williams into this mold, he needs to find a way to highlight Caleb Williams' strengths and hide his weaknesses.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game, and I think they cover the 1.5.
Goff with protection is a great pocket passing quarterback.
Yeah.
You cannot say that about Caleb Williams right now. He has a long way to go. With that being said, that spread is disrespectful to the Cowboys. No way they lose this game. In no way 1.5 is even enough. The Cowboys win this game fairly easy. Not gonna say they're gonna rout them, but the Bears are not good. The Cowboys went down swinging week 1. Week 2, I know it was the Giants they got in a fight with, but they came out battle tested and came out on top. They're not gonna have trouble beating the Bears this week.
Oh yeah, not only that, but Matt Eberflus is the Cowboys defensive coordinator. Are you telling me that he's not, put some extra sauce for his defensive players to come out and play hard for him this game?
Yeah, and that's I mean, this just is it's a typical NFL mismatch. Bears a mismatch most weeks. They go out there. I don't expect them to win this game.
Well, for the Bears, my question for them is, what Bears team do you see? The team that played great for 3 quarters against Minnesota, or the team that we saw in the fourth quarter against Minnesota and the whole game against Detroit?
Remember, I told you after that, the Bears looked decent last year. After Daniels gutted them with that Hail Mary, they was atrocious. Week 1, remember I told you, it just happened to them. They just got gutted in the fourth quarter. Either it's going to all go downhill or he's going to bounce back. He jumped right back on that sled again, bro. He'll be blaming Ben Johnson at the end of the year.
Well, Ben Johnson has done himself any favors too, because he looks like a rookie coach. He's made a lot of mistakes those first 2 games,
Yeah.
especially against Minnesota.
And
But I still can't get over that. He thought they were just going to kneel for a touchback. That was going to work.
I put it like this. I don't know if the NFL set the schedule with this thought process, but that Detroit needed Ben Johnson narrative got killed faster than I ever seen any narrative get killed over a coach in the NFL in my life. Like Jared Goff was dealing with that Sean McVay one for like a year and a half. Things like that linger. Like, bro, nobody is thinking Ben Johnson had anything to do with Detroit's success right now. Probably not many people that think he's going to make it through the season.
Nah.
It just is what it is.
All right, we'll move on. Next game of the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams are 2-0. It's an early division matchup. Depending on what happens early in the day between LA and Philly, this game right here can determine first place in the division. The Niners started Mac Jones once again as Brock Purdy is out with turf toe. Unlike Joe Burrow, though, Brock Purdy decided not to get surgery, and he's going to try to come back in the next 3 to 5 weeks.
He's not secure like Burrow. Even with the money, he's not secure like Burrow. I feel him.
That's why he's trying to come back and play.
He'll lose his toe over that job. I feel him. He wasn't supposed to get it. I feel him.
Especially if Mac Jones feels like he did last week. But yeah, San Francisco, they're 2.5-point favorites. What's your game on this NFC West matchup?
Who? Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. I got the Niners winning and covering the spread. I think it'll be a close game. I'm looking like 27-23, 23-20, possibly even 17-14. But I think it'd be a 3-point game. I think the Niners will cover. It's 2.5, you said, right?
Yeah, Niners are favored by 2.5, so it's a 3-point game. They're not going to cover.
No, I got them winning by field goal.
Okay.
Like 3 or 4 points. So 27-23, 27.
I mean, my bad. They do cover if they win by 3. I don't know. My bad.
17-14. I got them winning by 3 points. Wouldn't shock me if they dropped this game, but I mean, I think Kyler's probably more likely to throw the game away than Mac Jones, which is sad to say.
For me, I'm taking the Niners to win this game too, and I'm not sure. I wouldn't surprise me if they win by double digits. Arizona to me is a weird team. Yeah, they're 2-0, but they play two of the worst teams in the league in Carolina and New Orleans. So it's hard for me to tell like how good are they really.
Yeah,
So and I know the Niners, their defense is pretty good.
yeah.
And if Mac Jones doesn't turn it over, because he did have a couple turnovers last game, which kept New Orleans in it. If he didn't turn the ball over, they probably blow out New Orleans where that game was going. So if Mac Jones can protect the football, no turnovers, it could be the same way. It could be a double-digit game for the Niners. But I agree with you. Niners win this game, and they definitely cover the 2.5.
I think it'd be an easy game for them. I think they'll be running fairly early in this game. By third quarter, they'll be just trying to run the clock out on them.
Yeah, I think Brian Robinson might get a lot of carries if that's what happens.
Mm-hmm. I think this would be a game for him too. Also, this wouldn't be a game that if Jennings plays that I mean, unless he goes crazy in quarter 1 and 2, if he's a little dinged up, he might have a little bit of time to sit in this game. So I don't know.
Yeah, get him some rest.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd start him this week.
All right, and in the last game, we have the Sunday night game. Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Giants. Both teams are 0-2. This is a must-win for both teams if they want any hope of getting to the playoffs. The Chiefs are 6-point favorites, though, even though they're on the road. And for the Giants, they'll see if Russell Wilson can hold off Jackson Dart for at least one more week.
All right, well, this is an interesting game. I thought the Chiefs would be a little bit bigger of a favorite there. With that being said, I'm still picking the Giants with the spread, but I'll take the Chiefs to win the game. I don't think the Chiefs got it in them to beat anybody by 6 right now. I think they need to get their shit together. But I do think that they will win this game. They're going to be a lot closer than people are probably thinking. So I'd go Giants by the spread, and I got the Chiefs winning the game.
Yeah, to me, this is a tough game because I think the Chiefs are going to win. I'm not sure if the Giants can cover the 6 points or not.
Yeah.
I think defensively, the Giants are not very good.
Yeah.
So this could be a get-right game for Patrick Mahomes in that Chiefs offense, which has not looked good at all this year.
Yeah.
And for the Giants offensively, yeah, they were great last week against Dallas. Russell Wilson had a career game, but I can't forget that just a week earlier, that offense looked terrible, and Russell Wilson looked terrible to the point where they were questioning if he would even start that Cowboys game. Now, he played well enough to keep his job for at least this week, but I don't know which Russell Wilson I'm going to get. I'm going to get the one from last week, or are we going to get the one from week 1? If we get the game from week 1, then it's probably be a blowout. If we get the Russell Wilson from last week, I think the game might be a little closer.
That's fair.
But I do got the Chiefs winning.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I mean, what Russell shows up, that's what it's going to come down to. Or if Russell decides not to show up, let us know that in the first 3 drives so they could get dialed in and give yourself a shot. But yeah, I think Russell will have a good game. I think I seen it in Russell's eye last week. He's not done. I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel like I seen his confidence come back last week, and it's probably why he threw that dumb interception at the end. Hopefully that
got too confident
a little bit, but Russell surprised me last week. I just didn't think he had that in him to do what he did last week.
But for Russell Wilson, he's also under a lot of pressure to win because it's not just about him putting up good stats. He has to win because at some point, if the Giants keep losing,
he's going.
You get to a point where you just say, okay, we're gonna put Dart in there because at this point we got nothing to lose. We'll just get the kids some experience and set ourselves up for the future for next year and beyond.
I already told you, bro. There's no way he makes it past week 6. It's like
I
don't know which week he goes. It'll be a roller coaster for another couple weeks, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, but he won't make it past week 6, bro.
Yeah, you said that when we went over the schedule.
Yeah.
And we talked about it because the Giants do have the hardest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I said, like, looking at their schedule, like they could easily go 0-8.
He's designed to fail. Like when they take the old quarterbacks and you get your last rodeos, these rodeos ain't rodeos you can win. It's just
No.
not. Like I don't know what he thought. He wants to just play football. That's what he's doing, and he's gonna go the way you could go to. But there's
Oh
no
yeah,
way
he
he
just went
wants
to
to
the
get that.
only team that offered him anything.
Yeah, but you can't look at that team and think you're gonna make it through a season. You knew
Well,
that.
especially when they drafted quarterback after they signed you. That right there tells you how much they believe in you.
I mean, it happened to him his last two stops. He's this after this year. I do believe Russell Wilson has 3, 4 more years of value in the NFL being a backup quarterback, right? Like if you're telling me Russell Wilson as a backup quarterback for the next 3 years, I'll take him. Even 3 years from now, he's probably better than most backups right now. You know what I'm saying? So
But that's the thing though. He has to be willing to be a backup right now because he wants to be a starter and he's going to teams where he can only be the starter.
yeah,
He's putting himself in a position where he's looking like one of those guys that just hanging on too long.
yeah. I just think that if this year don't go right, I think he'll get it. Either he'll retire or he'll end up being. I guess it also comes down to do you need the money? Because he'll get paid a good contract to be a backup. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
like some of these other guys. So if he needs the money, I mean, like I said, I would line up to have.
His wife makes decent money. I don't think he needs it.
Yeah, I know, but I would. I just saying I would line up to have Russell Wilson as my backup, no matter what team I am. There's probably only maybe three, maybe teams that maybe have a backup that you wouldn't take Russell Wilson over. I think every other team would line up. Even teams he played for would line up to take him back as a backup quarterback.
Yeah, I mean I agree with you. I just think it's like I said, he has to be willing to be a backup. Because I mean, I think it is a mindset from being a starter to humbling yourself to being a backup. We saw this in the NBA with Allen Iverson late in his career. He didn't want to come off the bench, and he kind of, his attitude of not wanting to come off the bench kind of shortened his career. Like, yeah, he did play 14 years, but he could have played like another 4 or 5 years as a role player if he accepted it. And
Yeah,
he just couldn't accept it and got to the point where he didn't really retire. The NBA retired him.
I 100% agree. A perfect example of crashing out.
Yeah. And not, you think, I think sometimes for some of these athletes, in their mind, they're still great players, even though their body is telling them they're not. And we see it on tape, but they're so delusional that they themselves don't see it.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. When they get home and they're with their cousins or in their backyard, they're probably
Yeah,
still the best person in the city. But it's just not that no more when you when you go to your games because now
yeah,
it's not your neighborhood. So what you look like when you wake up and go in your backyard and shoot around isn't what you look like when you go around the best players in the world and now you're
yeah. There was a story that Chad Johnson or Chad Ochocinco, whatever he's going by nowadays, but he told the story that when he knew it was time for him to retire, I think he was playing for the Miami Dolphins, but he was watching like game tape and he's looking at this one of the wide receivers like, damn, that guy running slow. And then he realized that guy running slow was him. And
yeah,
that's when he knew it was time to, it was time to hang him up.
Lord of mercy. Ocho. Ocho's the guy though, man. Shout out to Ocho Cinco and McDonald's, man, for their low prices they got going right now. I got a Big Mac meal the other day for $8.
Man, if Carson Palmer didn't tear his ACL in that playoff game, I
Yeah,
still think Cincinnati might have won the Super Bowl in '05. Because that year, I don't think any team could have beat them. They were that good, and Carson Palmer in that playoff game tore his ACL in the first play.
yeah, that's
And what's crazy too is that he threw a touchdown when he tore his ACL, like a 80-yard bomb or something to like Chris Henry.
Lord of mercy, Lord of mercy. Rest in peace, Henry too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he died a couple years later.
yeah, he was like beefing with his girl and was in the back of a truck and just tried to jump out the back of the truck. It wasn't even going fast. I don't know what. weird situation, man. But rest in peace to him. Shout out to, I mean, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Condolences. I hope his family and everyone's doing good. But that
Yeah,
was
same here.
special. He was
Actually, I watched the documentary too. They said Carson Palmer took his death very hard. I didn't know that him and Chris Henry were that close,
yeah,
but it hit him hard. But yeah, Carson Palmer. Speaking to him, he's probably another underrated quarterback. He was a pretty good quarterback that nobody really talks about.
yeah, for
But I feel like those Bengal teams that they were on, for whatever reason, they just couldn't win in the playoffs. But I felt '05 was their year, and unfortunately, Palmer just got hurt, and
yeah,
then having to go with a backup and got knocked out in the first round.
yeah.
But
That's
I
just.
think Chad Johnson should have at least won a ring.
I agree. I agree. And some of those Bengals teams was great. Chris Henry, Hujmanzada, Ocho Cinco. They
Yeah, they
was
had a three-headed monster on the wide receiver core.
it was loaded for a while.
Husmanzada, the best Indian football player.
Hujmanzada was a ill player, man. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I liked that Bengals team back then. There was an exciting team to watch with Carson Palmer and all those guys going.
Yeah, man, that's they were an entertaining team for sure.
100%.
But yeah, that was the last game for Sunday,
Yeah,
and then Monday night, if we could break that down,
probably
we
game.
have the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens. Both teams 1-1. Baltimore is 4.5 point favorites in this game to beat the Lions.
Would you say this is probably most likely game of the week?
Yes, the game of the week.
Even
Um,
this or Ram.
at the time when the schedule came out, I said that it could be a Super Bowl preview,
Yeah,
even though people are not talking about it as much because everybody thinks it's going to be Green Bay and Buffalo. Those are the two favorites right now, the two betting favorites
yeah,
to go to the Super Bowl. But I think it's going to be a great game. I know everybody wants to talk about what happened in 2023 when Baltimore blew them out,
yeah.
but that was 2 years ago. Two different teams. The Baltimore Ravens team that I saw defensively was not good in week one against Buffalo. They were better last week. All those turnovers they got, I don't know if it was Joe Flacco. Maybe he still thought he was on the Ravens, or are the Ravens defense that good? I don't know. So we'll see how they play against the Lions. And then for the Lions, I think week one was an anomaly. I think that said more about the Packers than the Lions.
Yeah.
I think the Lions showed who they really are last week. So I think it'll be a close game. I think the Lions covered the 4.5 point spread, but I'll take Baltimore only because they're at home. That's my only reason for taking on the Ravens.
All right. So you got the Ravens a favorite by how much?
4.5.
All right. So 1 second. All right. So this I believe is gonna be my game of the week because this is gonna be a dog fight. Both teams 30 plus in this game. I wouldn't surprise me if they both put up 40 or one team wins this 41-35, something like that. I think this will be a high scoring game. It'll be a shootout, I believe. With that being said, I got the Lions winning the game. So I think that the Lions walk out of this game with the victory by a small margin. I think that we see it's not going to be Chiefs Rams where they both put up 50, but it's going to be one of those type of games, and I think that Goff wins another shootout on primetime TV.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it either comes down. I think it'll come down to which defense steps up in the key moment.
Yeah, and I guess I probably should have led with that because my other part of that is I think this is the game where Aiden Hutchinson finally looks like himself because the Lions' pass rush has been non-existent through 2 weeks, and I know you remember his injury. His leg snapped and wrapped around somebody else's leg.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that was brutal to watch.
yeah,
Yeah, the Lions front four hasn't been good, but their back seven has been great.
yeah, yeah.
Jack
All the guys
Campbell,
that was injured last year.
yeah, Jack Campbell's looking like he's gonna be the next great middle linebacker. But
Yeah,
his player comp coming out of college was Brian Urlacher. I thought they just compared him to Brian Urlacher because they're both white linebackers.
yeah,
But he's actually playing like Brian Urlacher this year.
yeah. He looked like
So
him in the pads
Yeah,
I see it now. You know,
because when I first read it, I was like, okay, they just comparing him to Urlacher because they're both white linebackers, but no, he actually
he's
plays like them,
he's really
and they're giving him more responsibility. He's now the play caller on defense.
yeah.
But yeah, I think outside of that first half against Green Bay, the Lions defense has actually played pretty well.
Yeah.
The second half of that Green Bay game, and of course last week against Chicago, so their defense is nothing to sleep on. But yeah, I do agree with you that they do need a better pass rush, especially going against Lamar, because Lamar's gonna take off the run a few times.
Yeah. And that's what I'm telling you. I also have to just put it out there, and I don't want to jinx him, but if Hutchinson don't look like himself soon, it's not happening this year. Because that it could be similar to the Achilles. This might be a 2-year buildup. Like he just might not have the strength in his leg right now to beat these matchups like he typically would, and that's not gonna come overnight unless he learns new moves. I know he's mainly he's a power rusher, like he bulldozes people. So it's like Jared Verse not being able to push off his leg, you know. So yeah, either he's gonna get it going soon, or they need pass rush help. There's no way to cut it because they're gonna need him to either be more situational, or they need to. I mean, they're gonna have to just give him time. That's all really it comes down to. I guess it'd be the difference between what Aaron Rodgers looked like last year and what he looks like this year. He looks a lot more like the old Aaron Rodgers this year than he did last year, and it's because coming a year off an injury that takes 2 years. And I mean, I've never had those injuries, so I'm just looking at it like if a Achilles is taking you 2 years to get the strength back, I know it's a tough injury. Imagine just snapping your whole shin in half, wrapping it around someone's leg, and then putting it back together. That got to at least be 2 years, right? So
You would think. I will say the good news for him though is he did get one sack last week.
I know, but it's not really the sack. It's just look,
Just you want pressure, right?
go back and look at him. He just last year, I think in 6 games or 5 games, he had like 8 sacks. So like,
Yeah, like, it looked like he was gonna break
yeah,
Strahan's record.
he was looking like everything as advertised and more. Like, look at, I might go for 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was
Yeah,
look like. Now it's looking like maybe top 20 guy. Doesn't look like what he was looking like last year. And I know he's better than what he looks like right now. He got to win most of his matchups, and he's not. You know, one sack, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? But I just want, it's more like even sometimes like Verse sometimes gets no sacks. But what he's doing to the pocket is worth a lot more than one sack. You see what I'm saying? Because he's collapsing shit. So I just want to see more of the Aiden Hutchinson that we seen last year that we know he can be. And Detroit will get a lot better because if he can't contain Lamar, or if they can't have a spy, or they don't have somebody that can, kind of contain the edge, this could be a long game for Detroit. But I believe Hutchinson will get it going.
yeah. I no, you want Hutchinson to be like what Michael has been for the Packers. No,
Yeah,
Michael only has like 2 sacks on the season,
yeah,
but even though he only has 2 sacks, he's making an impact. Like just his presence
yeah.
is making an impact. Like just him being on the field, all of a sudden, the Packers have the number one defense in the NFL.
I think I watched like a quarter of a Hutchinson of the Lions game last week, and I didn't even hear his name. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like, bro, you can't disappear. It's all right, you get a sack here and there, but it's more about the consistent wins at the line. Like he's a
Yeah,
guy that probably wins 7 out of every 10 times he lines up in front of you, and it's not like that no more. So it's probably maybe it's just he needs another year. But either way, I mean, you gotta also think there's a possibility he might never be that guy again. That's a terrible injury. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't guarantee that he's bouncing back from that ever. So I would just say if you don't see it happening soon, you better prepare for the long haul and bring in some pass rush help. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. I'm surprised he let Zadarius Smith go.
Probably not a smart decision. That's
Even though he didn't really do much for them last year, but I think a lot of that was because he was getting triple and quadruple team because they had nobody else on defense with all the injuries they had.
yeah. I mean, end of the day, right now he's better. Yeah, it's better. The more pass rushes you could have, the better. Bottom line,
Yeah.
because I know that right now, from what I'm looking at, Hutchinson needs some time to become special again. And I think he'll get there, but he definitely needs some more time. He's not back to where he was at yet.
So you got the Lions winning this game.
I do got the Lions winning now. I got it.
Yeah,
I got a high scoring game, but I got the Lions
yeah. To me, this is a coin flip game. So I'm just picking the Ravens because they're at home, but it
winning.
wouldn't surprise me if the Lions win. And like I said, I do think they will cover the 4.5. I think this would be at least a 3-point game.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And now that the picks is made, I have a few things to ask, and I'll be quick. I won't hold you on too long because I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired as hell today. But give us a couple of players that you think people should watch out for this week.
A few players people should watch out for this week.
They could be rookies or they could just be breakout players for the week.
Well, hold on, let me pull up the schedule again.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I'll say Jared Verse of the Rams. He said it that when the schedule came out, this is the game that he circled. So I expect him to have a big game this week.
Yeah, I definitely do too. Um, I'm gonna throw a few out there, right? I expect. Let me just go by here, and I'll leave that alone. I think.
Well, and also too, I'll throw out another name too. Marcus Mariota. I think people think the Commanders are going to sleep dip because he's quarterback,
Yeah,
but don't sleep on him. I think he will play well for the Commanders.
I agree, 100%. For me, the few players I want to watch this week, that actually was a great pick, the Mariota. I'm watching. I mean, in this, so if I guess if I'm going fantasy purposes, Justin Herbert's gonna have another 300-yard, 3-touchdown game this week. I just don't expect him to be stopped anytime soon. So if you're looking for a quarterback, that'd be the route to go for me. But as far as skill position players, I'm expecting a huge games from Zay Flowers and Amon St. Brown. I think both of them go nuts this week. I think that if I think all the skill, pretty much, I would say most of the skill position players on both of these offenses go crazy this week. So we're talking about Gibbs, St. Brown. I don't know if I would say that about Jameson Williams. That he's kind of like hit or miss. But I'd say Montgomery scores. I'd say Jared Goff has a day. On the other side,
What about
Lamar.
Tesla?
What'd you say?
So about Tesla?
I don't know. I don't think he's getting enough targets right now for him to be super productive. I'd say he probably gets a highlight play. He's averaging one of those a game for sure. But until he gets a little bit more acclimated into the offense as far as being used more, I'm not comfortable with him. But I would be comfortable with Derrick Henry. I'm comfortable with Zay Flowers. Obviously, Lamar. I think you could go a couple different tight ends here. I think you could pick a Ravens tight end. I think you could pick Laporta. This is where I'm expecting people to go crazy. It's in that game. I also do agree with what you said about Jared Verse. And the sneaky one would be Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I forgot about Carson Wentz, but that is a good one.
Yeah.
And for Tesla, I like what the Lions wide receiver coach said when they asked him if he has good hands. He said he doesn't know if he has good hands. He's only seen he's one.
Yeah, fair to say. Fair to say. He isn't even using 2 feet. He's using knees on the sideline. It's like, yo, give me one knee, one hand, make it work. He's working with 2 body parts. That's it. But with that being said, you ready for a good Sunday tomorrow or later today, I should say.
Yeah, well, for me, it'll be tomorrow, but yeah, for you later on today. But yeah, I'm excited for this week's games. It's gonna be a great set of games.
And before we sign out, I'm gonna have you tell them everywhere to find us. But I do want you to pick one thing. What's your best bet of the week? Spread
Ooh,
with the spread.
with the spread. Well, you can find us on Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Also, like and subscribe us on YouTube at Mikey Ant. And for my bet of the week, I'm gonna go Falcons Panthers. I think the Falcons win this game. I think they cover.
All right. So we got the Rams, my best bet, Falcons, your best bet, and I'll give them one bonus bet. So I give them the bonus bet. I'm gonna go. My next best bet would be the Cowboys plus 1.5. I think they cover that game easy over the Bears.
For me, I think it'd be Packers plus 7.5. I think they can cover that easily.
Nice. Well, let's get up out of here and we'll get to these games in the morning, bro. Don't forget,
All right.
our channels is down there for everybody. Follow that. We also have the Prince Nana link on our page. If you do need some coffee, follow the links. 10% comes back to us. And we're officially partnered up with W Energy. So if you do need a discount code on that, we can get you 30% off. So don't hesitate to reach out to either one of our DMs. But everyone have a great day. Let's enjoy these games. Go Rams.
Let's go. Whose house?
Rams house. I'll see you later, bro.
All right, take care.
Yes, sir.